It's a story that gripped the world. We're talking about the absolute hero pilot who safely landed a US passenger plane after an engine exploded in midair. It's the stuff that nightmares are made of, isn't it?
Or Hollywood films that should never come true. But it did. A former Navy fighter pilot, Tammy Jo Schultz, has spoken for the first time about what happened inside that cockpit. First, Pip Thompson, though, has a reminder of the horror of what happened, which sadly left one passenger dead.
Passenger plane is in trouble at 32,000 feet and she needs to make an emergency landing. Just 20 minutes after takeoff in New York, an engine had exploded on the Dallas-bound flight. Jennifer Reardon, a mum of two, died. She was sucked out of a passenger window which had been shattered by shrapnel. Fellow passengers pulled her back into her seat. She'd suffered fatal injuries.
Well, Ross King joins us now from LA. I mean, Ross, the word hero gets bandied around an awful lot, doesn't it? But Tammy Jo is certainly the real deal, isn't she?
Oh, yeah, most certainly. And interestingly enough, her husband, who's also a pilot, had actually swapped shifts with her. He was meant to be piloting that plane, but had swapped with her so that she could actually go to their son's athletics meet. So Darren Ellisa was in the cockpit with her as well. He's a US Air Force veteran too. And he was talking about how his instincts just absolutely kicked in. Two absolute heroes, a tragedy that that woman had to die, but it could have been so much worse.
Just really powerful, that interview, isn't it, when you hear it go out. Thanks, Ross. We're joined in the studio by former RAF pilot Dai Whittingham. I mean, what do you make of it when you know, to hear them saying it was so noisy, all we could do was use hand signals to land this thing with, obviously, hundreds of passengers fearing for their lives?
Yeah, it would have been very attention-getting, I think is probably the politest description. So they'd have had a massive bang through the airframe. They would have felt that vibration and Mr. Ellison was talking about the yaw, so basically the forces on the wing have become unbalanced with one engine that has effectively stopped.
She mentioned her flying in the Navy, didn't she?
Yes.
You're an RAF pilot by background. Not in any way to denigrate the brilliance of commercial pilots, but would that have really helped? Because I imagine the training's different because you have to expect the unexpected.
The training is slightly different. Many of the skills are the same, and of course in most air forces, the transport pilots get the same sort of training as the fighter pilots. The fighter pilots then get some additional stuff to deal with the dynamics involved. So, but they're trained to be calm. You have to be calm and respond with what you're seeing, and you just have to put personal feelings aside. I
mean, how rigorously is someone tested when they're a pilot about how you react in where you've got lives at risk?
There are, obviously, there's aptitude testing, psychometric testing to make sure you can do that, and you put people under pressure in training by giving them simulated emergencies to see how they would deal with it. There are simulators where you can actually put the symptoms into the aircraft, but there is nothing that prepares you, as I found out one day when a fire caption comes on and it's oh, this isn't the simulator. And there is that moment of realisation. They did a brilliant job.
Now, she's a hero, isn't she?
She did a fantastic job. They did a fantastic job as a crew. Together. They worked together. They flew the aeroplane. They got it on the ground. And it's also worth pointing out that this is a really rare event. And that poor lady that died, half a mile an hour would probably have made the difference between that debris hitting her window or hitting in front or behind it.
There, but for the grace of God.
Indeed. But it is hugely safe. She was the first casualty in the States since 2009, and nobody died last year in commercial aviation jet transport.
Dai, thank you.